The game, fellas, the game is the important thing today. Play football, you've got to use the flanks and you've got to play fair.
Start of the qualifying final. It's Port Adelaide against the Eagles, and the winner gets to have a crack at Central District in the second semi-final next week. The loser, we know, faces off against West Adelaide in the first semi-final. Colville, first kick for the match for the Eagles, drives it forward the Port Adelaide defence. Archie, Fegert combining beautifully, and Fegert goes to the line to reset the Port Adelaide defence. Joining me in commentary, Tim Geneva and Michael Parsons. Fellas, this is a tough one for both sides.
Yeah, you'd think so, David, wouldn't you? I mean, both teams have been very good all year, in amongst the top three with Central Districts, and pretty evenly matched.
Chris Kluzik starting the game, the regular full forward for Eagles. Out on the half forward flank, McGregor takes up station at full forward, and he'll be matched up on David Green, a player that's really improved over the last half of this season.
Jamie Tate has got the job on Binky, probably the biggest job in finals football this afternoon. Full front position. Vines this way, that way, skirts back, comes in with the handball. O'Connor handballs as he's prone to do, goes forward looking for Carr, misses the target comprehensively. Great work, Sicolella. Great tough work to drag Robertson out of the contest. Good work, Poole. Brown over the top to Polton. Claimed by Fruin, goes to ground and the ball dribbles across the line for a throw in. That's the sort of opening to a final we want to see.
Very good tackling, wasn't there, by Fruin. Took him to the line, but good quick movement a couple of times there. Phil McGuinness, ever dangerous with that quick kick in finals footy.
Paul Vines with an early touch as well. He was a good player last time we saw these guys go to work. Ball in dispute. It's got to be hot, physical early, I would think. It's the way Port Adelaide like to play. And the Eagles really have to find a forward structure that allows them to kick some goals. Watertight defence, the best defence in the league. They've just struggled to kick a winning score over the last few weeks. Kane Ackland goes up, gets his hand to the ball. Spills out, McGuinness so good around goals, gets it into the hot spot. Competition's on, Biggie's in front, but it's well done by Jamie Tate. One of the premier defenders in the league, just uses the soccer skills, gets the ball out of the danger zone. Gallagher comes in, he's upended, and Binky will see the ball over the boundary line, and there is a swallow drive by Jamie Tate, and earns himself a free kick.
No, he didn't. The umpire didn't buy that one. Not for sale, he said. As Tate tried to sell the dummy and the free kick, and the umpire didn't fall for it. O'Connor, I know, got one guy who bought it, and Sicolella goes to ground, appeal for a free kick. And it'll be a ball out.
Good Haas, fierce tackling early by both teams. That's important.
Justin Sicolella, injured for the first part of the season, come back in, just a prolific ball winner in the midfield. He's got it again, he just has the ability to find the ball. Fiani over the top of it. Colville now with his hands. Comes back. Skipworth, the man that played AFL before NSAFL. He's going to be important this afternoon. Competition at centre half back. Ball falls forward. Darzanos, first game for the year. Second game for the year, I'm sorry. And the big Stephen Carter clearing kick. He came back last year. McGregor, who's that? Fruin bursting through the back lines. And it's Archie in the van. Goes after the ball, nothing there. Finally, it falls to Matthews, comes back on the left, pushed off the ball as he kicks, and it's Polton. Polton, the ball will bounce for him, picks it up now, got no runners coming past, puts him in trouble, pulls the one, goes to Brown, quick hands, pull over it, tries to use his strength, goes nowhere, it's hot and it's hard. It's a final.
That was fantastic, wasn't it? Scotty Matthews just tried to wheel around and get it back into the corridor. Polton, 1 against 4, did a fantastic effort to defend. And then some very good tackling in the middle there by Eagles players on Darryl Poole. Not easy to bring him down.
Umpires today, Kevin Chambers, Tony Day and Tim Pfeiffer. You just suspect that when Port Adelaide play a final, it's always pretty tough. Floriani accused of throwing the ball. The umpire is right on the spot. Kevin, Casey, Chambers. And the ball will go back to Brown. This is Anthony. What a handy recruit he's been for Port Adelaide this season. Binky up, one-handed, up and down, couldn't take the ball. Tate, Floriani, Sicolella, well, caught undecided, lost his footing, gives up the handball. Great tackle, Earl, on McGuinness. The ball spills free. It comes out to Gallagher. Couldn't be smothered by Harwood, and the kick's wide. Now there's a good contest. Colville on Orman Allen, Tim.
Now, not sure that that's the matchup. Colville do start in the middle.
Well, there's a big blue on at half forward, too, fellas, if you don't mind. Zanos is having it with Carter. What's the umpire done? Fair dinkum umpire. They're both having a blue. Bounced the ball. He's come in and caught Zanos after Carter had monstered him. Well, you can't guess in finals, fellas, and there's the first guess of the season. Poole. At centre-half back, the big man's been the preeminent big man in the competition this year and a favourite for the Magarey. Fruin picks up a free kick. What are the umpires doing? Lots of free kicks early against the trend of the season. Towards centre-half forward it goes, little push. O'Connor gives a little shove.
He's lucky to get away with that
on
one.
Lindsay, and a mark paid.
Ackland now, he's the target. One hand up, juggles it. Could have been paid, it wasn't. Balls to the ground. It goes over the boundary line. Man in white puts his hand in the air. And Wise will have to recover the ball. He's kicked forward.
Tim, are the players conscious for Port Adelaide that when the umpires early in a match try and take control?
Oh, look, it is, and I always believe that if you're the one with your head over the football, then you're going to get the early free kicks, because that's important. Just be first to the ball, and when they're looking to settle down the game, you're going to be the one that receives the frees.
People around the ball for Eagles. Wise, Sicalella's there, Beveridge. Tasmanians come up and play good footy in South Australia. He's the one after the ball now, gets his hand to it. That could have been out on the full. There's a lot of appealing from the Port players, but it will be restarted here. We'll just have a look at that.
This will show us, won't it?
That's
Gets a hand to it there.
McClure it was. I've called Beveridge. Oh no, good call, bump ball. Ball in, O'Connor uses his body strength. With Sicalella again, handball early, 3 or 4 touches already. Around the corner it goes. Nick Pesh props, doesn't fall his way, and a good defender in Corey Archie comes through. Gets a long, raking drop punt kick to the centre-half forward position, but it's again the Eagles that are first to the ball, and another quick whistle.
The advantage allowed to fly. The Eagles picked up a free kick in the defensive for a tackle too high. Colville took the advantage and played on. Wise over the top of it, couldn't get the handball clear under plenty of pressure from Carr. Colville gets it clear to Fruin. This is a good build-up. McClure drills it wide and low. Who's there? McGregor playing it full forward. Picks it up on the half volley, needs to come back. Kicks it out wide. Well, the corridor is the Eagles' place, but they've just run it wide. Skipworth drags it back to the corridor. It's opened it up for McClure, and he'll have a shot for goal from about 45 metres out, almost directly in front.
Now, is he just listening to the wireless, or has he got something wrong with that left ear, David? Have you got any inside information on that one?
He copped a heavy knock, and he has an ear problem. So they've decided that they'll pad it. He has a hearing piece so that he can hear and keep his balance. Didn't look like it as he went in for that kick. Off to the right. Pesh roving front and squares, cleaned up, taken by Carter. And what's the umpire said? In the back, fellas, we'll have another look at that one. Just wonder whether they're not a little quick on the whistle today.
Yeah, I think you're right. Normally in finals they let it go for a bit, but I'd like to have another look at that one. Nick Pesh won't miss from here. He's too good a player.
In their seasons of 93, Jim, he was probably the player that was the catalyst for the Eagles' success.
Oh, look, his career got interrupted with a couple of AFL stints, one at Melbourne, one at the Crows. So
Nick Pesh lines up. No score, and we're 8 minutes into the first quarter, and Pesh will register a goal for the Eagles. They're off to a good start. Pesh gets the first goal in the qualifying final of 2001.
Well, like you said, David, they're paying the free kick, so if you've got your head over the football, then you're a good opportunity of getting one. And Carter came in late, fairly aggressive, but not sure that was in the back. We'll have a good look at it. Gee, I don't think it was. I think the initial impact was definitely in the side, and I say that without any bias.
I would agree with you, Tim. I mean, I think the umpires have pulled the whistle out, Michael, and they're blowing it.
Got to take advantage of it, though, and Nick Pesh didn't miss.
It will be O'Connor. Bounce favours him, gets the backhanded fist to no one in particular. Ball's pushed out now towards the boundary line, rolling. Doesn't quite roll far enough. As we see the Port Adelaide bench, that's John Cock on this side.
James Wilson next to him and Matt Ashley in the front.
Play restarted. Big Lindsay over the back, number 19, gets his left hand to the ball. David Brown played good football last week, running into some good form. Tries to break out, as does Colville. Nothing doing. It's still tight. It's still early in a qualifying final. And you'd expect it to open out as the game wears on.
Michael, when you're down on the ground earlier, had that breeze picked up any?
No, it's a perfect day for football. Maybe a half a goal favouring the northern end of the ground, but just ideal conditions on a fantastic sporting arena.
Lindsay drives the Eagles forward, through half forward and across the line we go again. Pretty good crowd so far today, enjoying the second of the double headers. First match, Norwood and West Adelaide. The Redlegs really dominated and finally had a good win. Ball comes back in, Lindsay front position, thumps it down. Pesh, little rover on the left foot, drives towards centre half forward, up and down went McGregor. Green went with him and crashed him to the ground. Well done Carter and Feagit. Was a good combination for the Port Adelaide defence. To a little bit of space where Vines just inside the line sold that beautifully. He knew he was running out. He had nowhere to go and no options further afield and sold that one beautifully.
Good piece of defensive work there too, Green and Archie. Plenty of commitment.
So as the ruckman headed up again, I think the ruck outcome today will be a huge bearing on this one. Vines went to ground, dragged the ball, and that's holding the ball. Now fair dinkum, fellas. They blow the whistle when it's not required. The bloke dives on top of it. They've paid that one all year and no whistle.
Yeah, I'm glad to see them put the whistle away a little bit.
Blood rule.
Skipworth, it looks like. The smallest of scratches on the proboscis sends him to the bunker to get it fixed up, and a compulsory interchange will take place.
I think you're being a bit hard there, David, on poor old Vines as he fell over the ball and went between his legs. Didn't have a lot of chance of getting that out.
The truth of it is, Tim, you dive on the ball and you don't get it out.
He didn't dive on that, Dave.
He fell on it.
He fell on it.
Big difference.
There's a big difference, yeah.
Comment former Port Adelaide skipper, Tim Ginnivan.
It's Nick Pesh. Goes into the hot spot. Opportunity for McGregor. Just gets bloodied out of the way. And it's picked up by Stephen Carter. Comes around the body now. Lost the ball in the Seagulls who have taken to the air. But again, it's continuing. Wise gets wrapped up in a great tackle from David Brown. Pesh now on the left. Goes short. McGregor with an opportunity. Oh, well done again there by Orman Allen. Just gets his fist to the ball. But it's gone out of bounds on the full. And Trent Orman Allen kicked 10 goals at full forward earlier in the season. Restart from the back lines. Kicks it long, looks for O'Connor, gets his way to the front of the pack, juggles it around. Nothing there. Brian Binky, right foot, pushes it forward. Floriani, good balance, hits the ground running. Comes back inside now. Wise gets over the ball. There's a lot of competition for the ball once it's on the ground. This is how finals football should be, particularly with Port Adelaide against the Eagles.
Some really good 50-50 contests, and both teams are just smashing into it. Really good to watch. I mean, the Eagles know that they have to take it up to Port physically as well as skillfully.
Interesting stat, fellas. These two sides have never met in a qualifying final. This is the first time they've ever played in one of these. Pesh had the ball smothered and...
They've got the whistle out, you're right. They're just going to blow it.
Vines behind Zanos and Carter. It's on for young and old there. Carter will stop Zanos running, whatever it takes. Not a bad ploy. Colville back to tape is good work. They're conceding a little bit of ground, and underneath this one, McClure on the outer side could chip over the top to the runner, and Gallagher does exactly that. Where does Gallagher go? Evades the tackle pretty well from Feagit, drives it forward. Archie, just that one telescopic arm, gets it up and down, and Carr Roves goes forward, and there's a fair bit of feeling. Feagit and Gallagher square up, and the umpire comes in to sort them out.
Chris Clusack enjoying himself out there with the physical confrontations that happens in finals. Nigel Feagit, ball's back in, and now it's back out. Colville runs it over the line.
You'd have to say this is going to be tight and hard. Ronnie Fuller in there with Shane Reardon. Just keeping an eye on things.
Back in now. Another handball from O'Connor. He's just averaged over 20 handballs this year, I believe. Just been a prolific possession getter for a ruckman. As John Floriani picks up his man.
Floriani won't be intimidated. I think he had a crack at it, but Floriani will never take a backward step.
Ruckman go at it again. This time it's Lindsay gets his hand to the ball. McClure picks it up. Left hand. And Floriani again. Lindsay from a standing start. Gives it to Colville. Here's an opportunity. McGregor on the lead. Orman Allen coming back with courage. Upsets the flow of play for the Eagles. And big Stephen Carter. I can't believe how big that man is right now. Gets the ball out. Plays the safety. And it's Wise that carries it over the boundary line.
Pressure came from Green. I reckon you're being a bit hard on Carter. He was certainly big 2 or 3 weeks ago, but he's been training pretty hard. And his first half last week against Sturt was just terrific football. They're prepping him for the finals, and the run today will do him the world of good. The advantage allowed to flow as Orman Allen gave away one on Lindsay. And there's the finish. Beautifully finished. It was McClure, and right through the Eagles have got their second. They're 2 straight goals. Port Adelaide yet to score 15 minutes into the qualifying final.
I think you called it before the game, David, that the battle between O'Connor and Lindsay will be pretty important. Well, O'Connor wasn't in that battle, and Lindsay easily tapped the ball down to his Rovers, and McClure was away. He wasn't waiting for the free kick. He just drove straight at goal and kicked it well. Important play to him too, McClure, but he's out.
Exactly right, Tim. Lindsay's beaten O'Connor in the last 6 contests.
Beautiful.
Okay, Ryan O'Connor, not the tallest of men, but probably the strongest. Will try and use that body strength. You see him there jump early, jump into Lindsay. But again, it's the Eagles players with their hand on the ball. Another whistle, another restart. A couple of players late coming in and late going out. But we'll get it underway again.
It is an important battle, and I reckon Lindsay, if he continues to get his hand onto it, then they're going to have to maybe throw Ackland in.
Umpire Chambers bounces down. We're underway. The boys go at it. This time it's Lindsay clearly. Big thump forward. Polton over the ball. Can't quite take it. Oh, well done. Justin Sickler finds his way through. Nick Pesh tries to dodge one. Can't dodge two. Skipworth now with an opportunity. Can he get his toe to it? No. Fantastic defensive work from the Rover and Phil McGillis just pushing back. And out to Anthony Brown on the wing. Now the run's back the other way for Port Adelaide. Tony Brown with the left foot. Good looking kick over the back now. Darryl Poole's got the run of the ball. Picks the ball up. Oh, good hands from the big fellow. Not taken cleanly, I think it was by Mark Clayton, just used it, and McClure comes away.
McClure chips it over the top. Sigalella through half forward. Well done, Feagit. Skipworth was sitting underneath that one, and Feagit is roaming. He's a rebounding defender and covering plenty of territory across half-back.
Might just get the inside 50s, because it just appears the Eagles have dominated that at the moment.
Certainly had, Tim, 12-2.
12-2, good question, Tim. Sigalella gets the kick away, under pressure from Orman Allen. Brown, cop one. The umpires allow the advantage to flow as Carter gives it off to Archie. Now Clayton missed one earlier, but he's generally pretty sure in these contests. Fruin's got the job today on Poole, and so far he's done it pretty well. Floriani's winning his position. Earl gives a little bit of space to tape, and the running defender takes off. Watch him go. They'll look for his lead in defence today. The Eagles, little push. Archie on Kluzak is well down from full forward. They've restructured the Eagles. They've got Kluzak running hard. Wise around the corner into a little bit of space. Skipworth, ball magnet, gets that one away. Brown, Feagit let one fly, and the umpire's seen that one. He gave Lindsay the old 1-2, and the umpire was right on the job. Colville streaming forward, pushes it wide. McGregor the target, ran underneath the ball. Green went with him. Off the ground he goes. It's rolling. It's a point. 2-1 the Eagles. Port Adelaide yet to score. 18 minutes into the qualifying final.
Well, Port Adelaide got a bit of concern because every time there's a contest, they haven't got anybody front and centre, and the Eagles have certainly got that. And we saw in the first game, Nord are probably the best club at it. And at the moment, they're just going to have to get some of those little blokes front and centre because the Eagles are beating them at that crumbing.
McGregor offering a target at full forward today for the Eagles. AFL experienced. He's going to be important just to see that. Now that is a quick whistle. Nothing in 2-1 towards Stephen Carter. Goes out wide. And again, you just see those long arms of Corey Archie.
Who is that umpire, by the way?
That umpire is Tony Day.
Yeah.
Comes back in, there's Carter. Getting the Bronx cheer from the crowd, but I don't think there was anything too bad about that, except his kick. And it's a turnover. Chris Kluzak comes back in, looks for McGregor. He's the target, gets under it. Defensive spoil there from Port Adelaide. And they're very happy to see it pushed out of bounds through the hand of Tom Carr.
Another opportunity for the Eagles. Lindsay comes right down into the forward line to do the ruck work.
Double change for Port Adelaide. Have a look at this. Wilson and Johncock come on. Brown and Clayton go off. So they're going to rotate Port Adelaide and try and catch the Eagles napping. Pretty good coaching for us. Something had to give. Carter thumps the ball forward. Vines. Little give to Bolton, who couldn't quite take clean control. That ball's across the line. We're 19.5 minutes into the first term.
Yeah, Port Adelaide started a little sloppy, actually. Some of their short handballs and kicks haven't quite met the targets.
Wilson will be number 26. You'll watch for him for Port Adelaide. And the Eagles have another shot for goal. That's hit the post. And that one was Darzanos.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad effort too. It was pretty casual.
Measured it.
He's had a little bit of trouble on Carter so far. Carter being very physical, of course, but Carter's run off and got a couple of touches, but that's his first. It might settle him down.
Poulton to bring the ball back in. Comes to the members' side, looking for Johncock. He's up, he's straight at the ball. He's a good player, this lad. I like the way he plays. Archie off the left foot, looking for O'Connor. He does the big wheel around, but he's cut out by Colville. Floriani now tries to scoop it out. It's another contest, another whistle. There's not a lot of time out there. Once the ball's on the deck, there's a lot of aggression.
Gavin Colville, Tim, great captain's commitment. He had Poole coming at him and O'Connor from behind him and gave a great account of himself.
It's like an olive in between two loaves of bread, isn't it?
They're two big men, Daryl Poole and Ryan O'Connor, but it's Lindsay dominating the rucks at this point in time. Johncock now for Port Adelaide. Heads towards the boundary line. And the whistle goes again. Johncock not happy, but he'll give the ball up to Gavin Colville. Raises the eyebrows at umpire Kevin Chambers, but it will be Colville who'll bring the ball back into the Eagles. The Eagles really starting to get a lot of possession over and above what Port can offer. McGregor out in front. Ball slips through his fingers. Probably shouldn't have. And again, we see this ball trapped in, but it comes out. Orman Allen with the body. Missed it. Nick Peshman with the ball. Got it. Turns it back in. It's in the hot spot. What will happen? It's bouncing. Comes to Skipworth. He tries to clever tap over the back. But the Port defenders were right where they should be, defending the line. Through for a point.
Tell you what, Archie and Poulton and Feagert and Green, they've got their work cut out because it's coming in there. I mean, 16 inside 50s to the Eagles, only 3 to the Magpies, and I reckon they've reached the 48-metre mark.
Port Adelaide are getting beaten in the midfield. Orman Allen takes the ball deep in the right back pocket, chips it over the top. Coming at this one, Tony Brown, just outside the defensive 50-metre line. Now, where are the leads? Johncock provides one. That's ignored. Short. The target was Carter. Now Poole. 3 deep. The ball is crunched to ground. And Wise drives it deep into the pocket where Kluzik's marked in front of Orman Allen, but he's right on the line. And this will be the most difficult shot for goal.
Beautiful kick, though, is Chris Kluzik.
Yeah, he's the sort of player that, you know, probably miss one 15 out, but probably kick one like this.
58 goals, 35. He needs to take the right post. Put it up high and let it drift in on the breeze. Needs to be a delicate kick. That's exactly what he's gone for, but he's pushed it out a little far to the right. Big fly up and down Gallagher, and conceding the behind was Wilson. Welcome back. He looks pretty fit, Tim.
Oh, he's a good player. Had a very good debut season, but Port Adelaide are under a bit of siege here from the Eagles. They've settled the better, and they're just peppering away at goal, but from the Eagles' point of view, they're going to make them pay.
Oh, throw.
Can't do that.
Did you say throw, Michael?
Justin Sickler just had the ball stick to the farm, I think. That is a throw in football. But it's Phil McGuinness. Goes short, looking to build something through the midfield of Port. There's some run, and that is ordinary. That is ordinary from the teamwork aspect.
Look at this.
McGregor has got back behind it.
You're kidding.
Former Port Adelaide captain Tim Ginniver. Your comment, please.
Well, I can appreciate trying to play on quickly, but we won't see what exactly happened. Polk's tried to give off to Johncock. Missed the target by 2 yards. Young Wise has picked it up, just gone straight to McGregor, standing in the square on his own.
McGregor now. Over the ball, easiest of shots for goal. Punches at it. Dissects the middle of the 7-metre goal sticks. McGregor kicks his first.
Eagles away to a flyer, 3-4-22. Port Adelaide yet to score, and that's the biggest mishandle I reckon I've ever seen anybody do, let alone poor old Jared Poulton.
I think
He's paid dearly for it.
I think what might have happened is he saw the run, he went to handball and realised John Cock wasn't calling for the ball. Tried to gather it back, and the result, ball spilled behind. McGregor was behind the play, and the easiest of goals, and a goal that Port Adelaide really couldn't afford to give up.
24 and a half minutes gone in the first term, and Port Adelaide haven't scored. You can see why the Eagles have the #1 defence in the competition. They lead the toughest finals campaigner in history by 22 points just on 25 minutes into the first term. Pooley's frustrated.
Can't afford to be at this time of the day. First term, keep your wits about you.
Lindsay will take the ball from the middle, the left footer. A long raking kick, Ackland's on. Couldn't take the ball. Knew it. Floriani under pressure. Green first, defender back. Paddles it down to Wilson, who roves it nicely. On the left, he drives it clear and wide. Brown the target. Gallagher just applies the body and forces the ball across the line. Well, Tim, what do you say as the skipper of Port Adelaide? Almost quarter time and you're down by 22 points.
Just a matter of keeping your head on. Keep persisting. 22 points is not a lot in modern footy.
Port Adelaide this time through Tony Brown, worked the ball forward. It's outside the danger 50. Finally picked up by Tommy Carr, it looked like. Polton now comes through, works hard over the ball, but Colville, it's hot in there. There's not a lot of time once you get the ball, but Kane Ackland, he's the man with some space. Stops, props, and Tony Brown tries to go. Umpire said he hasn't gone. Comes back and looks for an option. Goes out wide. Paul Vines got some touches early, goes on the left foot looking for Brian Binky. Here's his chance, but he's beaten for the ball. Over it now. Look for Ryan O'Connor, and again, there's just not the cohesion in the forward line of Port Adelaide that they'd like to see 26 minutes into the first quarter.
Well, that's as deep as they've got. They're probably within 20 metres of goal, which is probably their first real opportunity at goal.
Let's see what transpires. O'Connor resting in the forward pocket. He's the one that goes for the ruck. Falls out. Paul Vines by hand. Wilson it was. Brings the ball back. Looking for a lead. Nothing coming. And Darryl Poole with hands. John Cock ducks under it. Can he find his way through? No, he can't. He's holding the ball.
Giovanni's allowed to fly as Beveridge. And it's on behind play. Poole is making a nuisance of himself. The Eagles are playing the footy. Port Adelaide are watching the man. Polton goes after McLeod. In fact, he beat him to the contest. He slid into the ball. Robertson was very slick. Out it goes to Figa, but Polton's under all sorts of pressure with that handball. Kluzek got him. McLeod double tackled him. And what about this one, fellas? Handball? Just.
Darryl Poole, that's one of the first touches he's had, I think. Although he's trying to make a physical presence, he's just not giving them a marking target up forward. Maybe it's time to just look at a rotation through that position. Fruin's been good. I think he's on top.
Binky's at full forward now, and Hall's got him. So Port Adelaide's coach Stephen Williams ringing the changes. He's just trying to find a combination that can work. Ackland goes into the ruck to try and quell the influence of Lindsay. John Cock dragged off the contest. Umpire saw that one. That's a free kick. And John Cock, who started on the interchange bench, has made a bit of an impact since coming off. Off it goes to Carr, and the familiar Port Adelaide switch of direction goes to the far side where Wilson leads in the race in front of Gallagher. Along the ground it goes. Vines first man there. Floriani shepherds him out of the contest. Running forward, Wilson. He's working very, very hard, and Carter dives. Couldn't take it. Darzanos, his direct opponent, drills it short. This is where it's hurting Port Adelaide. Beveridge. The skill level for Port Adelaide has been poor, and the Eagles are hitting the target. Wise, full forward is the target, dropping back under Lindsay. The siren's gone at quarter time in the qualifying final. Port Adelaide 0-0-0. Look at that. The Eagles are 3 goals, 4-22. And Tim, Port Adelaide have got a lot of work to do.
Well, they have. They just need to settle down. I thought the Eagles were pretty good. I mean, 21 inside 50s to 4 just about tells the whole story. They just bombarded the square, and I've got to say Port's defence held up pretty well. In the end, they could have been at least 6 or 7 down, and they held up pretty well and maintained at least a reasonable scoreline. Being 22 points down, you can get that back. But they need to persist, and they need to get something out of the centre of the ground. Paul Lindsay's dominated the ruck contest. He's got it down to the little players, and you're right, crumbing ability of the Eagles has been outstanding. So a great first term to them, and Port Adelaide, well, they need to persist.
3 quarters to go. Stay with us. It's a great game of footy. The Eagles are 3-4. Port Adelaide yet to score on ABC's Finals Football. .22 points the margin as we go into the second quarter of the qualifying final. Port Adelaide and the Eagles, and Port Adelaide didn't score at all in the first quarter, but coach Stephen Williams has rung a number of changes in trying to find a winning combination. Darzanos, Colville, who had 9 possessions in the first quarter, goes towards McGregor at full forward. Green bustles him out of the contest. Ormond Allen working hard defensively, runs over the top of the ball. McGregor threw that one out, pulled off the ball. Green comes again. Second and third efforts were very, very good. And Tim, you've got to ask the question, what can Stephen Williams do to resurrect this Port Adelaide team?
Yeah, it looks like Poole's gone right back to the full forward line with Harwood. Binky's gone to centre half forward by the looks of it. O'Connor in the ruck, but Lindsay's getting his hand to the ball too easily against O'Connor.
McGuinness takes the ball out of the ruck contest. Brown, is Tony type. David Brown sitting on the interchange bench. And Binky and Tate, well, I've been looking forward to that. Tate's going with him.
That'll be a fantastic contest, both great aerialists. Ball comes in, Floriani goes over it, Ackland gets the ball, goes out to the leading Harwood, over his head, Poole now, hand on the ball, in the attacking area, what can he do? Not much, ball's out of play. Just couldn't quite get the body around. And there's a lot of tape work on Daryl Poole.
Certainly is, isn't there? Great work by Pedler here to get him over the line.
And Daryl Poole, the body, the centre of gravity was just going straight, wasn't it really? An object to attack. Ball comes back in now. Ruck contest. Robertson it is. Pushes it back in, but Jamie Tate, we've just talked about his marking ability. Goes out wide. Lovely kick of the football too is Jamie Tate, but Tom Carr in the van pushes back in front of the pack. Wise tried to pick it up. Nothing there. Comes to Tony Brown. This time it looks better. Ryan Binky, he's a lovely kick of the football. Goes to the head of the square. Daryl Poole, what can you do? Use your bulk. He does. Daryl Poole, that's what he does best. It's just body up. He's a strong man. Did it well. Took a safe chest mark.
Look, that's going to be the difference. If Port can get some drive through their midfield, a la Tony Brown on that occasion and John Cock, then on the full forward line, in that situation, Daryl Poole will be dangerous.
Daryl Poole, deliberate over the ball. An easy finish, one would think. Oh, he does a little bit of a crab step. Interesting technique we can talk about, but the result is home. A desperately needed one for Port Adelaide. 2.5 minutes into the second quarter brings up their first score by a 1-goal straight 6. And they lead the Eagles 3-4. 22.
Good work then by John Cock and Tony Brown. Binky did the right thing. Knew he had Poole up there in a one-on-one situation. Pretty hard to stop that big man in that type of situation. So that's a good result for Port because they really were out of sorts in the first term. And to get the first goal and your skipper get it, really does lift your team.
It's one move that Stephen Williams has taken the points on. Poole looks to have a mismatch with Pedler. Height and weight a factor. O'Connor up and down before the ball got there. Still paddles it down to Brown, who concedes a little bit of ground. Beveridge, whose early season form was just terrific, finds Kluzik, who's playing well down from full forward. So the idea, I guess, is to run Archie away from the fullback line and keep him running. Colville has been important in the early forays for the Eagles. And their skipper is leading from the front. McGregor, front position. Green did well to tuck the ball away. Johncock dribbles the ball off the feet and across the line will have a throw in. 4 minutes played, second term. The Eagles lead by 16 points. Brown and Clayton sit in the bunker for Port Adelaide.
Tim, I've been impressed with David Green, just his defensive action, the way he can get to the front of the pack and punch away.
He certainly blankets him. It's a lot like Archie, the way he can get his arm around.
And the other player in the bunker, of course, was Matthew Ashley, who's a late inclusion in the lineup for Port Adelaide. Brown back to John Cock. Kick goes forward into a little bit of space. Great running. Wilson, Pedler upended him. Gallagher goes to ground, and the Port Adelaide players are calling for a free kick. But the umpire will have none of it. they've put the whistle away and we'll have a bounce.
Oh, look, David Gallagher didn't have any chance of getting that away. Great tackle, though, by Harwood. And Port just seem to have settled a little bit more now. First quarter, I've got to say, they looked like a side that didn't have any finals experience. Probably looking more at the body than they were the ball.
David Brown warming up, ready to return to the fray. But it's McClure. He was a good player in the first half. Now Wise, he ducks under it, gets his hand on the ball. Back to McClure. Gets the 9-on out, chips it high off the left foot. That's a good mark. Spiro Darzanos coming back in for his second game of the season after suffering a nasty knee injury. Comes back inboard to the corridor. It's the hands of Beveridge. Goes out wide. Looking for Lindsay, the big ruckman, who's doing particularly well. Gets under it. Below the knees is not his best part, but does well. Feeds the ball out. Beveridge over it now. Keeps it in. Longer arm than he needed to be. Whistle has gone, however. And the whistle has gone a lot in this game, I must say.
He's paid a free kick up the ground for getting rid of Beveridge after he kicked it, or went back to Beveridge.
Whatever, Beveridge takes it. Darzanos it is now, running down, takes the bounce, looking for his options. It's a vacant goal square. He goes long, Skipworth up and down. O'Connor just down and takes the grab.
Very rare you see Orman Allen out-jump. Skipworth went right over the top of Orman Allen. And now Harwood, who started the game at full forward, has moved into a defensive posture. O'Connor goes over the top, wayward handball. McGregor, one step, lines them up. Well, he was off balance, and that one's gone out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, lucky not to pay for that. O'Connor just took too long to get rid of it. Good forward pressure by the Eagles.
It's one thing the Eagles do particularly well, apply the pressure in the forward lines. Phil McGuinness had an excellent career with Port Adelaide. He'll restart, runs, cribs to 10 metres and goes long, looking for Archie. Ball goes over, he said, it's Beveridge. John Cock is the Port player. It comes through, Tony Brown got the toe poke to it, now he's off. Streaking through the midfield, goes long, looking for Darryl Paul again. He can't get his hand to the ball. There's still an opportunity for Port Adelaide. They've got the numbers, but Jamie Tate, very good. Colville with about his 10th possession of the day. And finally, Stephen Hall goes out, goes short, well controlled on the left leg. The Eagles now had an opportunity.
Beveridge just misticked it. And McGuinness takes a rest. I guess there's a natural rotation, Tim.
There is, and Brown's come on for him to try and keep their midfield as fresh as possible.
I guess McGuinness was not happy about the rotation. He just want to be out there every moment of the game in a final. Pruin with the ball for the Eagles from half back. Enormous congestion on the outer wing, and that's where the ball heads. No mark taken. McClure dragged out of the contest. Pesh gets through. McClure just provided a shepherd off the ball, and Darzanos chips one short, a little too short. Stolen away by Polton, who drives it towards centre half forward, where Vines missed one on the half volley. Floriani concedes a little bit of ground, and Tate changes the direction of the play. And look at the kick, it's an educated one. Wise is running hard and wide, grandstand wing, two bounces, three if he wants it. No, he's got McGregor short, chips it over the top, that's exactly where it goes. Two bites of the cherry, he just dropped the centre, and Green wraps him up. What's going on, fellas? The pressure of finals football. John Cock, left foot into a little bit of space, was just the right antidote, and Wilson relieves a little bit more pressure by running hard and delivering forward. Floriani comes back, provides a shepherd. Good work defensively, Tate, but he gave up the handball. Binky, Colville's got him, still got the kick away. Vines under plenty of pressure from Hall. Gets it forward, Brown. Turns one around the corner. It's fast and furious out there. Sounds like a horse race because the players are just charging at each other.
Tim Ginnivan, you leant back, put your hands on the head.
Yeah, I did, as we see young Wise come off, but so many mistakes, so many unclean kicks and unclean handballs, not hitting targets. It's embarrassing.
Ball comes in, Tim Ginnivan, you're doing a good job in the commentary box, but you've been out there, you know about the pressure of finals football.
Well, and that's when you see who has played finals and who hasn't, because they've got clean hands and they've got clean possession and they don't make mistakes early. And, you know, even Carter, you're saying about the size of him, his hands and everything has been perfect.
There's a lot of experience in this Port Adelaide team. They've been in the finals every year for so long. Ball comes back out now. Matthew Ashley, first kick of the game, goes into centre half forward, looking for something. Oh, that's particularly well done. That big body of Stephen Carter, the clean hands in finals that Tim Ginnivan just talked about. will provide him with a shot on goal.
Just too good. One-on-one would have been twice the body weight of Darzanos.
Stephen Carter playing off the half-back flank. Stutter steps. In he comes. An important kick. Gets under it. Looks good. Umpire gets under it. They all like it. That's a goal. Port Adelaide, here you come. 2 goals now, 12 points. The Eagles haven't scored this quarter. 3-4, 22.
Well, there's a definite breeze blowing to that northern end. And Matty Ashley just coming on in the midfield rotation, gets a kick away to the top of the square where there's a contest, and Carter, who loves to run down off his half-back flank, can create havoc and can kick goals. Just snuck that one in too, by the looks of it.
Three-4 to 2 goals. The Eagles lead by 10 points. At the bounce, O'Connor dragged out of the contest by Lindsay. Pesh picks up the loose ball and drives it forward. Carr couldn't take control. Gallagher claimed by Orman Allen. Goes to ground. The umpires have put away the whistle. That's fair enough. Sikalala. Now Matthews got it from Darzanos, and he's got the quick reply for the Eagles. So the Eagles make sure they're trying to just keep in front and hold Port Adelaide off. And Matthews finishes beautifully.
Well, they picked up what was the spilt ball at half forward, and I've got to say they have put the whistles away. First quarter they're blowing everything. You have to say Gallagher almost had a prior opportunity there, didn't you? And good skills to Matthews. Punched it hard at the goal, just clearing the 2 players on the line. Sikalala, good hands. Darzanos moving it off. Well finished by Matthews.
2 goals, 12, 4-4, 28. It's a hot game. It's a qualifying final. There's not a lot of time out there. Skill errors are evident, but so's the effort.
It took 40 minutes of football to register a score at the southern end of this game.
Interesting stat, as they always are, from Ian Mogridge. O'Connor gets his hand to the ball. Big fist away, but Darzanos, he can't handle it cleanly. Now here's a chance for Port Adelaide. They can't push forward, looking to push the ball into Matthew Ashley. He can't quite handle it. Now he gets it. Kane Ackland, his ball spills out. Ashley again. Now John Cock goes high, looking for somebody underneath it. Paul's got a chance. It bounces. It bounces. It bounces wide. Paul has a smile on his face. Just exchanging points of view with Stephen Hall.
Yeah, Hall's gone on to Paul, and Pedlar's picking up Harwood.
Bruin's got the job at centre half back on Ackland. So Stephen Williams is ringing some changes. Tape, who Tim Ginniver picked as a smoky for last year's Magarey medal and wasn't too far off the mark when the final votes were tallied. Lindsay, Gallagher, now Colville. This is where the Eagles are winning the game. They're just winning through the midfield. They're taking clean possession and using the ball well. Other than that time when Carter, who's very clean hands, he's washed them, Tim, today.
Yeah, he's the best for Ports, isn't he, at the moment?
He's just taking it so smoothly and everything quite comfortably. Here comes Polton charging through, crashing, but misusing the ball. Pedlar upended by Vinky. Will that be a 25-metre penalty? It is. The umpire's right on the job.
I reckon he was a little bit unlucky because Pedlar definitely thought about going.
Thinking about it doesn't constitute, though, Mike, does it?
Does if you push your momentum forward.
Oh, that's a fair call. We'll go with you, big fellow. It is a judgment call and a tough one for the umpires. Kluzek's not gone anywhere near full forward today. I think that is a ploy that the Eagles are using. Lindsay up and down, almost took it. McGregor, clever work. McClure, handball onto Sikalala. That's good work. Slick work, little fellas. And a tumble to boot by Sikalala. Well, he's got a touch of showman about him, but he put that one through. It's exactly what the Eagles needed.
I think he was pretty happy with himself in the end because he just got the handball at the end of his arm's reach, dropped it onto his boot because I think he was under a bit more pressure than what he thought. But as you said, Kluzek's flying up the ground today, and good long driving kick, nearly a good mark to Lindsay, hits the deck. McGregor, very good hands, but McClure, who I think is very important to the team, got another little give off there and finished off beautifully by Sikalala.
By 4 to 2-1. The Eagles just regain a little bit of composure. Port Adelaide had them chasing jumpers for just a moment. Here comes Port Adelaide. Vinky to Harwood is good play onto the boot quickly. But there's plenty of pressure out there, Tim, and I think that's the difference. Port Adelaide are under pressure all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Credit to the Eagles, both their midfield, their defence, really putting the pressure on you, right, with tackling and not giving Port Adelaide an opportunity to get a clear disposal.
Well, they really do need to score with this foray into their attacking zone. Ball comes back in now. It'll be O'Connor coming over the back, didn't get his hand on the ball. Here's a man that can kick a goal. That's an excellent kick from Chris Robinson. First goal for some time for the Port Adelaide Magpies, but it's an important one. 3-1-19 keeps them in the game. 5-4-34.
That's good by Robinson. He really needs to come alive up there because he's a dangerous little forward. Got in front of the two big men in Poole and O'Connor. Roved his way around and snapped a beautiful goal. And that's what he's there for. That's why he was recruited to the club, to do exactly that.
Robertson went from North Adelaide to Essendon, back to Port Adelaide, and could be the backup that they need for Phil McGuinness. They're starting to age in some of their little fellas. Ackland in ruck now, shifted from centre forward into ruck, and you suspect that probably O'Connor has gone back to centre forward as Pesh drives along one forward. McGregor's up and down. Green's been very good today, Tim. He's
fantastic,
going with him and applying plenty of pressure.
The only time McGregor had a free one, he dropped because he thought Green was going to be there.
Well, that's the art of a good defender, to apply mental pressure, and certainly McGregor created the last goal for Sikalella with those quick hands, but Green really has been on him like a blanket. Lindsay dives down over the top of the ball. Ackland picks up the crumb. Archie to David Brown was slick work to John Cock running wide, and here's Robertson running free. Can he get there? Oh, Tate was very good. Great athleticism to get to that contest. And Robertson out of play. Earl got him, and it's a free kick going to Earl.
Yeah, fair enough. Good pressure on. Robertson had a lot of trouble keeping the ball in. Earl just kept straight at his hips. But great courage by Tape earlier.
Jason Earl, bring it back. Goes the short option. Kluzek, regular full forward, playing on half forward flank today. Again, it's a little bit static now. McClure, it is. He comes inboard, still looking for some options. Eagles, another forward 50 entry. It's Ackland, spills the ball. Is that Pesh? He kicks it, and he kicks it just a little bit wide. He's such a good finisher as Nick Pesh, and he's disappointed with himself on that occasion.
Yeah, Port Adelaide can be pretty happy because Nick Pesh doesn't miss too many of those in his career. And again, they're front and centre. Crummers are very good for the Eagles at the moment.
Polton brings it back in, finds Hutch. Well, no, doesn't find anybody. It's play on is the call. McClure keeps it in this time. Darzanos with the chip. Inboard, it's Fegert that does the spoil. Cheese over it. He's got good balance. And Port Adelaide through the high kick, take it out of the danger zone. Spills over the back. Here's an opportunity. Oh, there could have been a clutch of bodies there. There wasn't. And it was Thruin that comes in. Looks for McGregor. McGregor gets a jump. And oh, that's almost a good grab. It is a good grab. That's a good, strong grab. Tim Geneva.
Well, you can know everything that just happened to Floriani's commitment at the ball. Absolutely a superb 50-50 ball that he's won and turned it over for the Eagles to have a shot.
McClure will go back and kick for the Eagles' 6th goal.
McGregor.
I've got the Max mixed up.
The big Max.
Will kick for his 2nd goal of the day. Played a lot alongside Kluzak in the forward structure for the Eagles this year. Today he's got the goal square to himself and they've cleared out the forward 50. He's led well, been shadowed everywhere by Green.
Coming for his 5th kick.
McGregor now, a lot of time over this one. Kick from 35. Does it now. Everybody goes to the right, including the goal umpire. A minor score. Disappointing result for a full forward.
Yeah, he would have wanted to kick that one because he did all the hard work to take the mark. It's pretty important.
5-6 to 3-1. The Eagles lead by 17 points. 19 and a quarter minutes into the second term of the qualifying final. Goals to Sikalella, Matthews, McGregor, Pesh and McLuhan. That's a good one to Manfield, who started the game on the interchange bench and has come on and gets an opportunity to make an immediate impact.
Always a little bit wary about going short 50 inside the defensive zone, and on that occasion Brown just had to wait for the ball, or Clayton, sorry, and Manfield attacked it beautifully.
The Eagles have got some forward options when they can bring Manfield up and sitting on the interchange bench, and the kick looks pretty good for a point.
That's a couple of wasted opportunities for the Eagles. They could have really mounted a fair gap between them and Port Adelaide. They haven't managed to do that.
Should be in front further with 32 times inside 50 to Port's 10.
That's a very one-sided stat, isn't it? As Clayton gets his foot to ball, pushes it forward. Stephen Hall, he's the man in the van. Gets the ball. He's got a defensive attitude to football. He'll be pleased to see it out, and he's the one that actually kept it back in. Floriani does the hard work, goes after it again, gets over the ball, dives on it. They appeal for a free kick. There's got to be something there, and yes, there is. Scott Floriani.
I agree with that. That's the proper interpretation.
Just to see it here, pulled it in under himself, then made no real attempt to get it out as O'Connor goes long, looking through the strong hands of Brian Binky. They're there, but it doesn't fall his way. Mark Clayton now has an opportunity, but well done there by Sikalella. Just dispossessed of Mark Clayton, who thought he was going to get possession. Darryl Poole comes in again just to make his physical presence felt. In the Port Adelaide attacking zone, they're 11th, 4 aids, they're forward 50 compared to 32. Ball goes down, O'Connor's there, he's got a big strong body, gives his small men a chance, but it's the blue and gold jumper of the Eagles that come away for it. Gallagher all wrapped up, nowhere to go. And they'll restart again. Still within the Port Adelaide's forward 50, they really do need a goal. They trail by 3.
Having trouble getting away from these stoppages with any clean movement.
And we see again just the discipline to go after the man with the ball, wrap it up, and a restart will happen. A lot of players around the ball, nobody in the goal square, nobody else except immediately around the ball in the forward part of the ground. Ball goes down, falls to Stephen Hall. He likes the boundary line, as we just said, and he'll go searching for it on the member side of the ground. Gallagher gives chase, Mark Clayton chases him, and the ball beats them all.
Yeah, just at these throw-ins, the bounce downs, Lindsay's dominance in the ruck just gives the Eagles first look at it, and Port Adelaide really haven't had a real clean movement away from any of these positions.
Ackland has the job of nullifying the influence of Lindsay. It was Ackland who won that tap, and down it goes. Brown applies the tackle on Sikalella, and umpire Kevin Chambers will have a bounce. There is Stephen Williams. He's got his worries. What a tough couple of weeks for him in so many ways. Colville and Ashley Manuel, dead heat, and the umpire forced to bounce again.
Colville's been very good today.
Well, his possession rate's been pretty good, Ian Mogridge will tell us.
Yep, he's had 9 kicks and 5 handballs at this stage.
So 14 possessions late in the second quarter is not a bad result. Sikalella going wide, Wilson searching, Matthews stolen away by Fegert. Carr in the double play is great work. He'll kick a goal. This will be an inspirational team-lifting goal, and he's got it. That is a big one as a point. If that had been a goal, Tim, just get the fans on top of their seats, and he drags a few players along with him.
Absolutely. I mean, he did absolutely everything right. From the wing, he got it over the top, did the 1-2 twice, had it inside 50, and really should have finished off.
Nigel Fegert doesn't kick a lot of goals. Plays at centre-half back in 106 games. He's managed 15 as the ball comes in short. Fruin it is. Looks at his options. Will come this side. Again, the Eagles just looking for their short options, working the ball out. The best defence in the league. Colville's the target this time. Takes a pretty good grab under pressure. He's been good, has Gavin Colville.
Matty Ashley's moved on to him as a tagger.
The Eagles just building, working. Again, the short option. Pedler. Brian Binky will stand the mark.
Done a pretty good job today, Pedler, so far.
He has. Now they try to get the switch going. This is dangerous, but it comes off all right. Eagles now, ordinary kick, but it works out all right. Gallagher through the middle. He can take a bounce. Looks for the leading McGregor. No, he doesn't. Go shorter than that. Nick Pesh. He's a finisher, but it's beyond him right now. 54 out. Goes out wide, looking for a teammate. And the ball just spilt forward.
Gone.
He has.
Carter's desperation then was
That was
terrific.
fantastic, wasn't it?
He was a little lucky not to get pinged for holding the ball,
yeah.
but his desperation was unbelievable.
They pinned Floriani for the same thing at the other end. I think you have to be consistent. But look, in the end, I think Carter's efforts were good initially, but then should have been pinned.
Ackland takes the ball out of the ruck, and then somebody takes him around the neck. As Manfield, Ackland will get off the floor and take himself a free kick. He'll go long. He does that right now. The target is Binky, one of the best marks in the league. Can't get his hands on the ball. It spills to the back. Jamie Tate gives chase. He's closed down. That's a pretty good tackle by Tom Carr. Spilled out of bounds.
Yeah, good play by both players. I mean, Jamie Tate had nothing else he could do. And Tommy Carr just made a direct line at his hips.
Watch with interest the ruck contest. Lindsay's been good, does a little pirouette there. And it's Fruin that comes over the back, opens it out. Colville gets the run of the ball. Ackland picks it up, tries to get off the handball. Fruin with quick hands. Manfield with quicker hands. Fruin again. Then McClure comes to the left side. Goes short, looking for Kluzak. Hits his chest, bounces out, and David Brown's the man that clears it.
Brown relieves a bit of pressure, but Earl, who we saw earlier in the season, is developing into a wonderful defender. Tate, it's a far side where Floriani, the man who's shown so much courage, he really has led by example in this game. The short grubbing kick to Gallagher on the outer half-forward line. At left half-forward, lifts the eyes, goes deep into the pocket, and underneath this one, Newitt dives for it. Great courage diving backwards. He knew the pack was coming, couldn't complete the mark, and he claims Polton. Polton gets it away to Brown. Now in turn, an opportunity deep in defence for Binky to get the kick away. Here comes Brown over the top. Earl, claimed by Brown. Good second effort, Brown, wasn't it?
Yep.
Wonderful second effort. Robertson dragged out of the contest, sold it a little too hard, and the umpire said, no, I won't reward stage plays. As the Darzanos kick comes up, there's another infringement under the ball. It is really starting to heat up out there. The players are starting to make mincemeat of each other. Newitt couldn't get there. Carter, clean hands. Tim, thank you. To half forward, it's a high ball. Who wants it? Fruin came back, Hall came forward. Howard wraps him up. Poole did very well, just shoots it out into a little bit of space. Opportunity, it's running. And it's through. A great goal to O'Connor. Created something out of nothing.
Oh, well, there was some very good work done up the ground there. Carter, like I said, one grab players in finals are absolutely invaluable, and that's why he's been brought back into this team late in the year. Good work here by Poole. Watch the give in between three Eagles players. Gets it to O'Connor and gets a goal. Somebody's going to have to come up for the blood rule. It's Daryl Poole. But look at O'Connor's kick. Just gets it away. Good pressure from him. But it rolled beautifully for Ryan O'Connor. Daryl Poole makes his way to the interchange gates, and Trent Orman-Allen will replace him while he gets patched up.
So the game about to restart after a good goal from Ryan O'Connor. 4-2-26 is Port Adelaide. They trail the Eagles 5-7-37. And it's a hot contest. Qualifying final 2001. Excellent hit out by Ackland. Gets the Port machine underway again. What can transpire here? Ackland follows up. Handed off to David Brown on the left foot. Free player in the forward 50. It's O'Connor again. Opportunity to kick two in a minute. He's got options on the far side. Ignores them. They're closed down now. And Ryan O'Connor will go back and take a deliberate shot from goal from 45 metres.
Not an easy kick here. Not an easy kick at all. Very difficult with the breeze. But Ackland has made a difference in the middle.
Siren sounds for half-time. Umpire comes in and just displays where the mark is, and O'Connor gets serious about his concentration. A couple of steps. An important kick in the context of the game. He'll kick from 48 metres. The crowd rides the kick. Oh, and he's kicked into the man on the mark. Looks for the 50 metres, says that Frewen cheated. Still goes to work on that. There is no whistle. It is half time. Tim, not a good sign.
Well, you can see Ryan O'Connor is asking the question, and he's pretty adamant that he's come over the mark, but in the end, give yourself more room than that when you're going for goal. It's going to leave them pretty fired up at half-time, but the Eagles can be proud of their first half. They outran them, they outrun Port Adelaide. And in the end, Port Adelaide, just through persistence and a little bit of hard work and some old heads in Brown and Carter, just got themselves back into the contest. And Kane Ackland made a fair difference in the centre, started to make a contest against Lindsay. So it is poised for a very, very good second half with the Eagles leading by 11 points.
The winner plays Central District next week in the second semi-final. The loser plays West Adelaide in the first semi-final. Half-time on ABC Finals Football. The Eagles lead by 11 points. It's anyone's game still. The Eagles have outplayed Port Adelaide in the first half, but Port are still within 11 points and a real chance, if they wanted, in the second half to go on and take the game. Ackland thumped it down. At the back door it was Wilson, claimed by Beveridge, almost threw that one away. Lindsay, who was the best ruckman on the ground in the first half, handballs it forward. Brown, what finals experience. Tim Ginniver's talked about clean hands, and Carter's got them. Clayton spent a lot of time on the interchange bench in the first half, but he's exploded off half-back, drives it forward. Floriani worried out of the contest by Brown. Look at all the players as they just huddle over the top of the ball. Brown is calling for a free kick. Cicolella, wasn't Cicolella, in fact it was Pedler, comes up with the ball, and umpire Day indicates he'll have a bounce. O'Connor down the throat of Brown, but the handball was more efficient. Binky measures it beautifully to Matthew Ashley over the top and turns it around the corner. It was a pretty good start for Port Adelaide, but they've missed to the right, and they get the opening point of the third quarter.
Yeah, I think Matty Ashley had more time there, and he probably could have made a better fist of that kick at goal, but good work by Binky to get it over the top. Main thing is they've had an attack inside 50, where the Eagles didn't allow them too many of those in the first half.
So just waiting for the Eagles to bring the ball back into play. Fairly crowded around the centre-half back area for the Eagles. So the ball kicked long outside 50. O'Connor gets his way to the front. Colville roads it brilliantly. He's got the runners forward. One of them is Wise. Wise takes it, turns. His kick just wasn't spot on. Unfortunately, it made his teammate work, but eventually they have the numbers there to go forward again. This time McClure off the left leg. The stretch from McGregor, fortuitously it comes over the back. A snap, a goal! Well, it seemed like Port Adelaide had started well, and all of a sudden down the other end the Eagles get the goal.
Well, in the end, that was pretty good individual play by Kenny McGregor. Colville's robe off hands at half-back was brilliant as well. Scott Matthews got out a bit of trouble there, as you could see on screen pretty well. McClure's kick wasn't great, went over the back of Kenny McGregor. Unfortunately for Green, he misread it, and McGregor recovered first and brilliantly snapped it around his body. But Colville, very important player. Matty Ashley's manning up on him, and they're going to try and keep him quiet, not an easy task.
Colville's had 16 possessions to be the leading possession getter on the ground at this stage.
16 points the margin, 6-7 to 4 goals, 3. Ackland high, up and down, couldn't bring the ball with him. David Brown handballs it away. Wilson couldn't control it. Polton streams away out of the midfield, tries to deliver it to a forward. It was a wayward kick. Floriani tackled by O'Connor, shrugs the tackle and gets clear. The kick comes over the top to Earl, who's been pretty good as a defender today, and so too's Gallagher, finding plenty of the ball on his wing towards the outer side, and Colville. He's got Matthew Ashley as a tagger, Tim, and there's an FAD.
Yeah, it'll be 25 metres, just continued with the tackle, took him around the neck, and umpire bring him up the ground. That's all right at half-back. I think you just got to keep on to him.
I think the idea of Stephen Williams is to slow down the Eagles as they're coming out of defence. That's what he's looking to do. Is the blood rule
Yes.
enforced? It is. So Colville will come off the ground. Floriani or Hall will go across and take the kick.
Hard to tell the blood from the red hair, isn't it?
just coming out there from the top of the head, but a couple of tackles missed too. Feegate missed Matthews in the middle of centre-half forward there, and that resulted in a goal. And then O'Connor missed Floriani in the deep in the back, and now they're up on the wing, so must make those tackles count.
Skipworth will come back on. Michael Parsons is down on the boundary line.
Yeah, Skipworth, David Newitt and Matthew Manfield were the choices to come off the bench. They're the ones sat down at the start of the half.
Thanks for that, Michael. Colville will go and have blood on the forehead attended to, and Floriani will take the kick for the Eagles. It's allowed the Port Adelaide defence to get right back and man up. It's a high kick. Archie underneath this one, too far under it. Lindsay and O'Connor went hard at it. Clayton delivers it wide to Brown, who goes for the boundary line and finds touch.
He had not a lot else he could do there, and at least they took the ball off hands. Clayton roved it there beautifully. Just need to get a lot more of that.
The ball back in. Lindsay reaches over. Port manages to clear the ball through Wilson on his left foot. Kicks it up. Punch came from the defender from behind. Now crashing in Earl. And he's underneath. It might even be Sikalala. It is Sikalala.
Yeah, good attack on the football by Sikalala. He's been an important player, as we'll see. Colville gets strapped up. They'll fix that up pretty quickly and want to get him back on the field.
So as they clash again, Ackland and Lindsay. And McClure takes possession and he's hounded by Brown, and really no option to get rid of it. Although I'm sure the Port players were certainly requesting a free kick. Look at that patch-up job. He's had an ear laceration, it was termed, and I imagine he's well and truly cut up around there. Here's McClure. The ball comes down to the Eagles, and they just get it forward. Skipworth was the kicker, and Carter puts his body on the line. He's done that all day. He's been very effective across half-back.
He's a good finals player.
And I know, Tim, you reminded us several times that's why Stephen Williams was keen to have him back in the side after he's missed the vast majority of the year.
Top possession getter for Port with 15.
So he knows how to find the ball. Sikalala, he's found the ball pretty often too. Lindsay tries to break free, forgets to take the ball with him. As a result, it's in dispute again. Lindsay comes in over the top, and the umpire comes in to say, my ball.
David Brown has mixed it up, Tim, hasn't he?
David Brown did very well then, and just kept that ball in the area where it could have been cleared. A couple of second efforts were superb.
Bolton's got the job on Wise. Carr is going with Beveridge. And Wilson's got Gallagher. So Stephen Williams really has run some changes. Great commitment, Beveridge and Clayton, the two number 10s. Fantastic, wasn't it? Gallagher chips it short, and he's found McGregor. A little too easy.
All started from Lindsay's tap. On the wing, just slapped it forward about 20 metres in the path of Beveridge. And, you know, when you're getting easy clearances like that, he's such a valuable asset to them.
McGregor has kicked 2 goals too, 1 out of bounds on the full. It's been a mixed bag today. They're playing him alone in the goal square, opening up the forward line and using him as the focal point. Chris Kluzek's playing across half forward, and the Eagles have got a very open forward line. They need him to convert, and he's bending it back, bending it back, bending it back. Just not far enough a point.
Yeah, I can't say I was ever confident that he might get that one, David. It's goal kicking at times just needs a little bit of work.
Just Ron Fuller up in the Eagles coaching box.
What a great job he's done, Neil, in his first year coaching the Eagles.
Yeah, well, it's a tough ask. Try and take a side back to the top when you're a first-year coach, or back to the grand final where the Eagles were last year. Meanwhile, Kluzak's taken the mark from a helicopter kick out. So lines it up. Chris Kluzak, he'll kick from just outside 50. He's probably the best kick in the Eagles side. And leans back on it. That'll go very close. It'll be a goal. Well, look at that. The Eagles have added 2 goals to their score in the second half.
That's a fantastic kick from Chris Kluzak. One, he just kept his eye on the zone, kept his eye on it. It was a terrible kick. He ran across, full commitment of the ball, took the mark, and then thought, oh, I'm within range, I can get this. Went back and gave it a really good roost. That's a great kick.
The Eagles led by 22 points at quarter time, 11 points at half time. They've now blown it out to 23 points with that goal from Kluzak as the Eagles pick up a free kick to Beveridge out of the midfield. Wise forward and Johncock, who came into this side. Port Adelaide ringing a number of changes, trying to find a combination to go with the Eagles, and Johncock was one of the preferred options. Forward he goes, Binky, who hasn't seen much of the ball today. We thought he would be a real factor in this match. Robertson, Dakar, now David Brown. The Brown boy on the left boot goes forward. O'Connor and Hall, the two number 30s. Poole dragged out of the contest. Clever work. Get that ball out to Clayton from Ormond Allen. And Pedler will relieve the pressure to Wise, who goes short with a little chip to Darzanos. The Speedster can take off. Will he take them on? He does. Gets the handball inboard to Wise. He needs to unload it. Well, it was a clever handball to Pedler, who was upended as he kicked it, but still got it away to Kluzak, who really committed, and he's hurt himself. And Fegut's down as well. Both players are hurt. Tremendous commitment, and Matthews goes long and wide. Underneath this one, Johncock did very well to spoil on Gallagher. There was no other option, and he took the right one. Brown, manhandled by Colville. Johncock off the ground, a little toe poke. Now another one. 2 possessions, and they're all important at this stage. Beveridge paddles it forward. Sikalel under pressure. Port Adelaide have found a new dimension. They've just found a little bit of passion as Floriani drives towards half forward. No mark taken. Brown competes. Darzanos goes after Ackland. Ackland handballs away. Green couldn't take the ball, but he paddles it back. Well, Fegut's up. What great courage that is. What a factor Fegut is. He was crunched moments ago. Still able to get back into defence. And Brown pushes it forward to Binky, who shrugs a tackle. Turns one around the corner. This game really heightening up. Oh, Carter went hard. Ball went harder. And Robertson can hold the ball in the area. We are 10 minutes in. 23 points the margin, and Port Adelaide need the next goal.
Yeah, you say they've lifted, David, and I think they know it's now or never. 10 and a half minutes into this third term. It is now or never. Kluzak right over the top trying to take that mark on Fegut.
Paul Vines coming on for Port Magpies, replacing Tony Brown. The other guys sitting down for Port are Mark Harwood and Phil McGuinness.
And I reckon Chris Kluzak's just now starting to get some air back in his lungs after he really hit the ground hard. And the player's getting an opportunity to take a breather again as Tim Pfeiffer, the umpire, coming in, take possession of the ball. It's Chris Kluzak. Just looks to have recovered somewhat. They bounce down. O'Connor takes front position, palms it down. The Eagles are in there first. And Port Adelaide, Mark Clayton, number 10, over the top.
They have to do this every time. Just shut the Eagles down. Don't let them run away with the ball. Make a contest of it.
11 and a half minutes into the third term. And 23 points in favour of the Eagles is the score. And Carr is in trouble. Finally gets it forward. He was aiming all the time to get it to Clayton. He finally did. Clayton did well on the ground. Now it's spread by Vines right across to Carter off the left leg. Closing. Goal to Carter. Goal to Port Adelaide.
That's his second. And I'll tell you what, he has definitely been Port's best today. He's done everything right and got on the end of what was a fantastic piece of play. Clayton involved, kept his head over the football, scooped it out to Vines. Vines swung a wide handball out to him and he finished it off beautifully on his left. But David Mackay was right. It's now or never for Port Adelaide at this stage. They had to get that goal because he just felt another 2 to the Eagles. It might have been too hard to get in there.
5-3 to 7-8. Binky marks, cross half forward. A little bit of pressure brought to bear. And Binky, the man before the game we tipped to be the game breaker, has been well held by Tate. Vines. Ackland fumbles, raked in by Pesh, delivers it up to Wilson inside 50. Sells it dummy pretty well. Gallagher got there and applied an important tackle, a scrag late. Poole keeps it in, or did he know the ball was out of bounds on the full?
Yeah, no, fair call, but just need to get the ball on the boot a little bit quicker in finals footy. Ackland at centre-half order in the ruck has certainly made a difference to Port Adelaide.
We'll pause while Fruin determines just what he wants to do with the ball. He hasn't got a lot of options. He's going to have to go long down that far side of the ground, the old scoreboard in the background, and he drives it long, 3-on-1, but the ball comes to ground to Tommy Carr. Port had all the numbers in that situation. Now up in front of goal. Hall comes from behind, thumps it away looking for the boundary line. It'll get carried across eventually. So the Eagles holding firm but under siege back there. 17 points the margin. So Poole and O'Connor, the two big guys, try and get around them. They couldn't. Poole gets the possession. Dancing in one position, finally gets it back. Carr turns it around the corner, hoping for a goal. It's only a minor score.
And Daryl Poole refused to kick that ball himself, didn't he?
Also refused to give the ball up.
Eventually found a target, but didn't want to have a shot himself.
I think Timmy's looked better since he's gone to full forward or forward pocket.
Yeah, right on that front line is a good decision.
Just struggling a little bit with fitness, Pooley. And he's such an important player to Port Adelaide.
Just the one kick, which was a goal, and 6 handballs.
So he finds plenty of the ball. Through and up and down. Polton, ricochet. Lindsay over the top. Well, they're playing with confidence, the Eagles. Gallagher has a bounce. Carr shepherd out of the contest by Skipworth. Loses it, recovers it, loses it. What great work, O'Connor, to get that out. The Vines in turn. Polton now Ackland. Under pressure from Fruin. What's that? Says the umpire. That's mine.
Fantastic tackle.
Great tackle.
Fantastic tackle. Some tremendous efforts over here. Carr and O'Connor to steal the ball, but then Fruin saves the day with a fantastic tackle on Ackland. Look at that.
Umpire Kevin Chambers puts it to ground. Lindsay's been terrific today. Misses this one. O'Connor takes it. Handballs out to Carr over the top. Clayton under pressure from Pesh. Gets the kick forward now. Where's the next contest? The next line. Up and down was Binky. He's claimed the mark. And what does the umpire say?
Unless Poole had a little bit of it, then perhaps Kevin Chambers was correct. He's still saying it's mine.
He was just wondering who it came off, but oh well. Umpire determined that somebody had touched it before Binky got it. Now Floriani, Arnie touches it. He gets it wide. He looks for the boundary. He'd hoped for the boundary, I would have thought. And, well...
Oh, deliberate.
Is it? No. Well, James Wilson looked like he was in a bit of trouble then.
How that's not deliberate beyond me. He had about 6 yards to run over.
I tell you, I watched the Brisbane Broncos play last night, and Wendell Saylor would have been proud of that, going in to score a try.
Yeah.
So the ball kept in tight, finally springs to Polton. He's content just to knock it down the field 20, 30 metres. And Gallagher not happy. He's been taken off the ground at the interchange gate. And he is not a happy lad, let me tell you. He's been replaced by Darzanos.
Well, Darzanos got taken off when Carter kicked that second goal. And Gallagher got taken off for really just slaughtering the ball moments ago.
I think Gallagher got taken off. He had Skipworth when he bounced the ball and it didn't come back up. He had Skipworth as an easy give and ignored it.
From behind Orman Allen, the big punch, and that only advantaged the Eagles. The Eagles are off and running. Skipworth gives it across to Colville, the captain, with their headband. He's got a cut on his head, but it hasn't stopped him delivering the ball. Lovely kick. John Cock does the better of those two players. Matthews will chase him, but John Cock has possession. Well done. Boy, he's a player. And his kick was pretty good as well. Colville came in, and it was too easy. They took it away again. That's Chris Robertson. Robertson's kick was smothered though. The Eagles defence working overtime. Take it away. Jamie Tate very steady around the corner. He's got one loose. And that's Joseph Pedler. Now he steadies the game up a bit, and his kick was pretty good. And Lindsay took a strong mark. He wants to play on. He does play on. McClure off and running. There's plenty of headbands out there, let me tell you. Manfield spent most of the season in reserves. Fruin, likewise, off the left leg, kicks it inside 50. McGregor, Green with possession. Good play, gets it out. But now it's off to Sikalella. A goal coming up. Surely a goal. It is a goal for the Eagles. And Sikalella has his second. And doesn't he know how to celebrate?
Well, he should get back and celebrate with Fruin, because it was his effort that caused that goal. Fantastic. Green was brilliant attack on the football here in front of McGregor. Tried to give it off. Look at Fruin there. Spoiled it away straight into the arms of Sikalella. Easy goal for you. Get back and congratulate your teammate.
Uncensored Tim. Geneva not exactly overjoyed at that sort of celebrating.
22 points the margin as we go back to the middle. Plenty of one-on-one contests in the middle. McClure picks it up, tries to crash through, can't get clear. Clayton wraps him up.
They've really tried to nullify it in there, and Clayton and Ashley have gone on to the centre contest and done particularly well, but every time the Eagles get that one loose or that one free by Lindsay, they end up creating a goal.
Ron Fuller feeling it. Skipworth goes to ground. Polton got him.
Full of feeling.
Full of feeling.
That's it.
He is full of feeling. Brown and Harwood sit it out. Michael down on the bench. Is there anything wrong with them?
Brown rotates at the 20-minute mark almost of every quarter.
As we go down to Michael Parsons on the boundary.
No, you don't.
Don't worry.
Apparently not.
We won't be paying him today, fellas. Back we come with Carter. He's done a terrific job. Archie's been pretty good today too, and John Cox, since coming on from the interchange bench, has been a live wire for Port Adelaide. He really has given them another dimension. Beveridge is... Oh!
Well,
Binky will be reported. Don't worry about that.
Yep, he is. And he was not happy.
Something happened. He was not happy with Beveridge, and he went hunting him. He got out the bow and arrow and went on the hunt, and the umpire was right on the spot. It's the second incident today we've seen this being blatant.
Well, I don't think it was in that passage of play, because Beveridge just roved the ball at the front, and Binky, whack.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even really make great contact, did he? It was just silly. It's just
what would Stephen Williams be thinking, Tim?
It's frustrating.
Binky in the grand final would be a very, very important player on a dry, hot day.
I can't explain that.
Well, he's been a great player for Port Adelaide, Binky. That one an aberration. As Archie, well, Binky's fired up now. He really wants to make amends, and that is the sign of a good player. He gets the Bronx cheers from the Eagle fans, which is fair enough. But Port Adelaide fans are willing him to just do something. Hall goes to ground, Ormond Allen wraps him up, and the umpire, I reckon they might have to get the whistle out just a bit right now.
Yeah, it's funny they started the game like that, and then
we were critical of them early.
Yeah, a little bit too snap happy. Stephen Williams, Gary Treadray and Greg Phillips in the box there. Pretty crucial part of the game for Port Adelaide. The Eagles just doing everything right at the right times.
Certainly, this is a crucial part of the game, isn't it? The Eagles have stood up so far, leading by 22 points.
Yeah, every challenge that's come to them so far, they've been able to answer with a goal.
And if you've just joined us, Norwood, 47-point victors over Westies in the elimination final, which was marred in some ways by a couple of real fair dinkum fisticuff events, especially one in the last quarter when blood was spilled in a big way. So the ball thrown in, half forward for Port Adelaide, now in dispute finally. Earl, well, I thought he was going to get a kick, just that pressure. Port Adelaide, somebody towed the ball forward, might have been Chris Robertson, and it's out of bounds inside the forward 50, and back behind the play, McClure having a few words with Phil McGuinness.
We're 22 minutes into the third quarter, and Port Adelaide have only taken 27 marks.
Yes, they're getting beaten in the air by the Eagles, aren't they? O'Connor paddles it down. McGuinness, who has spent a lot of time on the interchange bench. Through him, goes to ground. Harwood gathers him in, and he's been pinged.
Found himself a little bit stiff there.
Well, I think the umpires are just trying to make sure that there's not too much work in close. And Harwood, who has also spent a lot of time on the interchange bench, hasn't had a lot of possessions, Ian Mogridge.
Just his third run this.
Will kick for goal from about 53 metres out as he dispatches the kick. Breeze is going right to left, and it's fairly strong, so he'll take the right post. Kick was almost too strong, really, wasn't it? Didn't deviate at all. Didn't come back with the breeze, and it's out of bounds on the full, in fact.
Yeah, it never looked like it. You're right. And when you're having a bad day, sometimes those things just continue. But Port Adelaide just have to keep persisting here because there's still a long time left in the contest.
McClure, who is very important. Back it goes to Tate, who's done a good job on Binky, has frustrated him out of the match. And Floriani, one of the Eagles' best today, certainly their most courageous. Drives towards Colville, who's just harassed out of the contest by Matthew Ashley. Here comes Beveridge, the player that had his Truett completely taken off earlier in the quarter. And he doesn't lack courage at all. As tough as they come, a Tasmanian and a great recruit for the Eagles.
So the ball in again. Fruin comes over the top, does his best, pulls in there as well. And McGuinness and Clayton. Clayton slings out a hand pass. Carr off the left leg, high, inside 50. Binky! Well, gets dacked. This is a G-rated show, folks. Just pull the pants
I
up.
was going to say, just swipe your card.
Brian Binky.
Comment Tim Ginniver, former Port Adelaide captain and credit facilitator.
So Binky at the 24-minute mark. Number 24 lines it up, swings away, and he misses by heaps. Polton gets it though. He's on the boundary. He gets around Skipworth. No, that should be holding the ball, surely, yes. And the free kick, and Skipworth's off, and he's in a bit of trouble, but gets the foot to the ball outside 50, clears the zone. Brown, quick hands to Wilson. Drops it, picks it up again. His short pass was astray. Clayton over the ball. Possession, tackled, and down he goes. Eventually, no, the umpire calls for the ball. In the background, just saw him, the arms crossed across the chest, perhaps blowing the whistle just a tad early, certainly for the liking of the Eagles supporters.
The Eagles' defence has been superb, hasn't it? Just stood up every time and does the desperate things and lays the great tackles when necessary.
O'Connor looking, getting a free kick.
Oh, dear.
What for? Just tell me what for.
Nah, I can't explain it, sorry. I've got nothing for you.
Now, O'Connor was either shepherding or there was no free kick.
And he averaged, I think it's 6 kicks for the season on average, 6 kicks a game, and there's one kick. He doesn't often kick, he averages 21 hand passes. He falls short on that kick, and Jason Earl takes the ball over the line for the minor score for Port Adelaide, and they're trailing by 21 points, and we've travelled 25 and a half minutes in the third term.
It seems like Port Adelaide had 6 or 7 minutes, up in their forward line, having thrusts and attacks and no result, and the Eagles just seem to go down and bang a goal.
Exactly right, Tim. Port have been inside 50 11 times to 5 this quarter. They've only scored 1 goal to 3.
Liam Aldridge, our stats man, right on the job with the stats, as you would imagine. Manfield over the top to Darzanos, only his second senior game for the year. He's been missing a lot of it with injury. He's been pretty good today too. Kluzak had the ball thumped away by Archie. Love you to give us your thoughts on Archie's game, Tim.
He's a good footballer, isn't he? He's just such a very good defender. Doesn't get a lot of touches or, create too much himself, but if you want him to stop somebody, he can do that.
O'Connor dumps it down the throat of Wilson. Darzanos and Sikalala wrap him up, and umpire Chambers grabs the ball from all the players. We're 26 and a half minutes in to the third term, 21 points the margin in favour of the Eagles, and if you've just joined us, the Eagles led by 22 points at quarter time and only 11 points at half time as Port Adelaide mounted a challenge and looked like they could seize control from the Eagles. This term, the Eagles have kicked 3 goals, 1. Port Adelaide have managed 1 goal, 3. And Brian Binky has been reported, we can confirm. So bad news for Port Adelaide on that front as Lindsay dumps the ball to ground. Clayton, Lindsay comes over the top. Well, I think there's a fair amount of we'll see you again, Tim, in this match, because Port Adelaide are now taking it right up to the Eagles.
Yeah, they are. They just need to convert on the scoreboard to make a contest of it, because the Eagles are a lot cleaner in their forward line with it. O'Connor's trying to make a battle against Lindsay as well.
Ball just tumbles forward. Robertson fighting against the tide, and eventually, well, I think the ruling might have been the Beveridge was taken around the ankle. His kick almost set up Darzanos. Takes the possession. He's a half back for the Eagles. His kick is high and short. He goes to Earl. Earl goes long and low. Ackland can't pull it in. Feagit had a heavy collision earlier in the quarter, but seems to have recovered. Ball in dispute. Ackland coming through. Manfield, who looks like a racehorse. He's strapped up everywhere, and there's a couple of happy, or concerned maybe, Eagles fans. Now they're happy, they're on the big screen.
Not a lot of concern there, I don't believe.
Well, siren time, 3/4 time at Football Park, and the Eagles 21-point advantage at 3/4 time.
Everyone stay with us, hold on to your seats, as Port Adelaide will make a final challenge at the Eagles. The winner, of course, goes through to the second semi-final next week against Central District, and the loser takes on Norwood in the first semi-final. Beveridge goes to ground, David Brown over the top of him, and umpire Tony Day indicates he'll have a bounce. The lights are on at Football Park. The crowd in a heightened state of arousal because they know that Port Adelaide can come back. Binky needs to lift, and Poole and O'Connor need to provide something for Port Adelaide to build on. Here's Ashley. He has the job on Colville, and one of the toughest jobs in football it is.
I'd like to see Orman Allen and Poole on the last line. I don't think that's a bad move at all.
Comment Tim Ginniver, former Port Adelaide Premiership captain. No less than 3 occasions. He knows what the Cape is about, and he'll guide us through this final quarter. Tim, what can Port Adelaide do?
I think they do need to keep that forward 50 really open and try and get it in there as quickly as possible, because then they have an opportunity of getting a couple of quick goals, and that's what's going to be the difference. They struggle to get 2 in a row today.
Well, the ball forward for the Eagles. Kluzak, he hasn't been in up the full forward position for much of the day at all, and hello, he's pulled off a one-hander.
Well, you know, Archie's normally so good at getting a fist around to these. That is a superb one-handed grab. And that could be the difference. Quick goal here. As Ronnie Fuller said, they won 4 for the quarter. You get the first 2, you've blown the game over.
7 marks, 7 possessions.
So, see if he can kick a goal. That'll be value for possession. He's already got 1 goal, that is. So, Chris Kluzak. And happy with the result. The Eagles add a goal. They've hit 9 for the match. Port Adelaide needs to kick 5 more to get in front. And gee whiz, Tim, that makes it hard.
Oh, it's a tough task now, and that's just superb. Lindsay again in ruck, always getting it in front of his players. Quick kick comes out of a pack, forwards in front, takes a great mark. Another good season for Chris Kluzak. 60 goals this was for the season.
Port Adelaide are capable of coming back from here. Don't write them off yet. They've done it before. And you can never write them off till the final siren sounds, no question. But Kluzak has made it harder. Pedler grabs the ball in front of Harwood. He's played pretty well today, Pedler. Towards half forward, McGregor sets himself up and down, recovers the loose ball under pressure from John Cock, still gets the kick away. Archie and Clayton go back for the loose spoil, and smothered off the boot of Clayton. The ball goes towards the boundary line, and Pesh unable to just to force it back in. So the Eagles' forward pressure, Tim, has been outstanding.
Right from the first quarter, and I said that the way they've kept it inside and, you know, tackled and, you know, got another bounce down or a throw-in has been very, very good. Ronnie Fuller will be very pleased with it.
I think their hardness today has been as good as it's been, and there's Colville finishing off. He likes it, the skipper. That is a great captain's goal. You've now got the first 2, Tim, but you still can't write Port Adelaide off.
You can really see, though, that that's exactly what they wanted to achieve. And Paul Lindsay, who's been the best big man on the ground, that was a superb knock to his rover and a superb goal by the captain to really put some nails in the coffin.
Well, the Eagles look to be in control, don't they? Only 2 games between these 2 clubs this season, both won by Port Adelaide. We're back in the middle. Lindsay comes hard at it again, directs the ball down. Brown reads it better. Wise now just drives it up. Fell into the hands, really, of McClure. He's got a runner wide. He comes this way. It's Hall. Just content to hold it up. He's got a couple running for him, including Darzanos, leading backwards into the forward line, if you can follow that. Darzanos is now free across here at half forward. Hall has not even bothered to look that way. Instead, he goes long and high. O'Connor will fly from behind and just punch the ball forward. Darzanos is there. He ducked, but will get the one for too high. Tommy Carr complaining about it.
Gee, he did fall into it too, didn't he? Still, got the free kick.
So Darzanos puts it up, looking for Kluzak. He gets a leap at it. Boy, if he pulled that in one hand, it would have been something. Archie comes away with it. His kick wasn't the best. And back they come. The Eagles called to play on, allowed to play on. Beveridge drives it inside 50. Look out, here comes Kluzak again. He looked to get one high, and that's what he's complaining about, but Stephen Carter was just too strong. Like a brick there at the front. Nobody was going around him. Now they share the ball to David Brown. Down this, the commentary side, the grandstand side. Shared again, Wilson off the left leg. They're going pretty wide at this stage. Tape brings it to the front, and Earl masquerading there, trying to get the ball out of bounds.
And Neil, a couple of interchanges down low, looking for some more run through the midfield is Stephen Williams. So he's brought on Anthony Brown for Harwood, and looking for a score, he's brought on Phil McGuinness to replace Chris Robinson.
McGuinness, Moggy, has had a pretty tough day.
Yeah, just a 6-6. There's 7.
There's
no
number
handles.
7 as he drives the ball forward to a little bit of space. Back underneath that one, Pedler. Well, we haven't seen much of him, Tim, but what we've seen today we really like.
He's been great. I saw him earlier in the year and I didn't mind his game. I thought he was very disciplined, but today, to do it in a finals match against Port Adelaide is a pretty fine achievement.
The official attendance today at Football Park, 10,899.
And at this stage, the Port fans will be a little worried. Certainly AFL fans were a little concerned last night. They lost by 3 points, of course, and are out of the AFL finals. And gee, they're under pressure here in the SANFL qualifying final. Darryl Poole, all strapped up. He's been through some very hard times, Tim.
He certainly has. I mean, the knee injury we thought would take him out of the rest of the year, but he's worked particularly hard to get back in.
Tommy Carr, the acutest of angles, turns the ball out in front of goal. Ormond Allen at full forward. He just couldn't break free. Gallagher can. He looks up. He doesn't like what he sees. There isn't anything there, so he says, I'll just go to the line and scatter the seagulls.
Did Michael Parsons drop his chips down there or something? A lot of seagulls, wasn't
There are seagulls everywhere.
Tell you what, the Eagles have looked like seagulls today, the way they've hunted in packs around the drop of the football.
Their midfield pace has been very good, and I think that's part of the selection dilemma that Stephen Williams will face. Where to go on, they really need to find some workers in the midfield. Matthew Ashley towards full forward. One-on-one contest. Pooley couldn't mark it. The ball goes to ground. Now there's a hustle and bustle. And the players are just told to cool it by umpire Kevin Chambers.
I think they've got workers in the midfield, David. It's just a matter of actually taking it off the pack and crumbing it better.
Yeah, so we just watched the knee there.
Ormond Allen just lost his balance temporarily. Paul, Beveridge. And the line. 8 minutes gone. Are the Eagles home, Tim, or do you think Port Adelaide can mount another challenge?
Well, you've probably got 17, 18 minutes maximum. You'd want to do something in the next 10. You need 3 goals in the next 10.
Well, this could be one of them. Colton gets it across to Brown on the snap. He got it up there. Ormond Allen looked to pull it to ground. Pedler now got the hand pass out. And Tape, well, that was brave. And Ormond Allen saddles him up and helps him to his feet.
Look at that. Yeehaw.
Down McGuinness, quick hand to foot, and well, just didn't get enough on that ball. And in the end, Pedler was quite happy to put the ball through for the minor score by thumping it into the goalpost.
Time to think of best players, Tim. The Eagles have got plenty. I don't know that Port Adelaide have got too many. Having a quick look down the line.
Nah, look, Carter's probably been their best. There's been some good efforts by Green and John Cock. Archie in defence. But the Eagles have had plenty, haven't they?
Well, think of the Eagles. We'll come back to you in a moment as Hall goes wide. Ackland misses it at the back as O'Connor handball into space, but Colville read it beautifully and feeds it off to Gallagher. It's time for a bounce. Now, he was dragged for having a bounce and misusing the ball during the third quarter, but this time he goes long and off the pack and off hands. It's Pesh. One-on-one, Chris Kluzak and Fegert, who was crunched almost out of existence in the third quarter by Kluzak flying for a mark, goes towards the boundary line. He is a tough nut, this fellow.
He is, isn't he? He just does his job back there. Forever being diligent and disciplined.
So the ball just thrown in. McGregor gets his man out of the way. Tommy Carr comes, picks up the ball. Don't know how he got it actually out there legally. So Wise turns around. Oh, too easy. And the Eagles celebrate. Look at that.
Well, you wanted the first two in the last quarter to really set up the victory, but to get the first three is outstanding in 10 minutes, and they're finishing off what's been a very good day for them. Their discipline, their hard work on the forward line, turning the ball over once again, allowing Wise a shot at goal.
Colville's tackle was the catalyst, wasn't it?
Well, he's been their best. Lindsay a very, very close second because he started the whole ball rolling. He gets his hand to it. He pushes it out in front of him. And Pedler back in defence has been superb. Hall, little Jason Earl's been good. Sikalella. They got a lot of good players.
So they go forward again, the Magpies, and just can't get a result. And it's been somewhat the story of the afternoon for the Maggies.
Yeah, when you're not having a real productive day up forward, then if you get an opportunity, you must convert. And Port Adelaide haven't been able to do that today.
Amazingly, they've only had 11 fewer possessions, but the kicks to handball ratio is very low compared to the Eagles.
Not as clean either, I don't believe.
Ackland dumps the ball to ground. Wilson has to come back inboard. O'Connor sidesteps this way, that way. Over the top, he feeds the handball. Carr sells the dummy beautifully, forced onto the left boot. He squares it into the corridor. Who's home? Bickey comes charging out at Fruin. Loose ball falls to Polton, who lines him up, turns it around. The goal umpire goes galloping. I think he likes it. The Port Adelaide faithful too. Are they mounting a charge? Is it all too late, or can Port Adelaide find some more? Stay with us.
Good work by Polton then. He was front and centre at the contest. Came to ground. Probably could have taken that mark, Fruin. Didn't back himself in. Went the spoil. And good roving and a good goal by Polton.
Nice work. The goal umpire in absolutely perfect position. And that's an absolutely perfect bounce. Straight up. Ackland crashes into Stevens, who gets it down properly, no problems at all. And he's not real happy at the moment. Darryl Poole comes out to remonstrate. The ball kicked wide from defence. Gallagher will lead in the chase for the ball. He's got Wise ahead of him. If he can just pick it up, he gets a hand pass out. Clayton was desperate. He put his side in with a chance, and now crashing in and gone! Beveridge gone. And O'Connor will get the free kick quickly, plays it on to McGuinness. Slots it up as quick as he can in front of goals. Bouncing, I don't think anybody touched it. It's not going to get to the goals. Now it gets back to Binky. He's trying hard, but he's contained by the Eagles' defence. And finally Hall goes for the boundary line. Brown snaps it up, goes from the acutest of angles. Is it a goal? It doesn't matter. John Cock, great mark on the line. Well, here they come.
Don't go to sleep, Eagles, because they will keep persisting.
Oh, great. That was just such a great angle.
Goal umpire Cam.
You can never write off Port Adelaide.
Don't go to sleep on them. Don't take your foot off the pedal.
I think I did in the grand final once, which I regretted.
But umpire ducks across quickly. John Cock's happy though. The Port fans are happy. And Port Adelaide, well, they edge a little bit closer. Margin 24 points in favour of the Eagles.
Well, they may rue the fact that they didn't put enough pressure on the Eagles in the early minutes of these games because they kicked 3 unanswered goals. Now, mounting a bit of a challenge 2 in a row for the first time, gives them a bit of an opportunity.
Well, the Eagles kept Port Adelaide goalless in the first quarter, and they only allowed them 1 goal 3 in the third quarter. And I guess if you're going to win finals, you have to kick a big score. Port Adelaide will need to look at how they restructure their forward line and their midfield to mount a challenge. Pesh throws the ball away, a handball into a little bit of space. David Brown, Matthew Ashley towards centre forward. There's an urgency about the Eagles right now. Fruin up and down, it ricochets to O'Connor. If this run grubbers through, what do you know, what do you know, what do you know? What do you know? It's Port Adelaide. It's finals time, and who said they were gone? Nobody here. They're on the way back. The Eagles will need to be at their best to hold them off.
You just feel that the Eagles took their foot off the pedal Ryan O'Connor kicked one of these in the first term or the second term like that. But you know who's been instrumental in a lot of this? David Brown. David Brown's been getting some important touches. Just that finals experience. The old head of, I'm going to keep persisting and I'm just going to keep doing all the right things at the right times.
And the crowd has come alive down here at boundary level. There's a sense of excitement about the Port Adelaide supporters now. They want their team over the line.
Well, the 10-minute mark of the final term, the Eagles led by 37 points, and that margin has been cut to 18, but the Eagles are going forward. And Chris Kluzak does a bit of pushing, regains his balance. Chance! Oh! Just the way the minor score.
Might be an important point, though.
Well, it always is if you can keep it above the exact goal mark. It makes it a 4-kick margin rather than 3.
Port Adelaide are going to need to kick better than 3 goals, 1 in perhaps 12 minutes of football.
Yep.
Another factor, David, that wind has started to kick in a little stronger to the advantage of Port Adelaide.
Thank you, Michael. Down on the boundary line, Michael Parsons. Ackland thumps it forward. That was clever work. Thinking footballer. Beveridge was trying to find Floriani. Floriani's first half was unbelievably good and courageous. Over the top of the ball, Beveridge goes to ground. David Brown's got him. The Brown factor is taking effect, Tim.
Oh, he's just a smart player and just so clever in finals footy. He'll just keep getting his hands on the ball and using it.
Look at the players milling around the ball. O'Connor tries to keep Lindsay out of the contest. Fruin over the top, Pesh down. Polton tries to gather him in. Gets the handball away, but it was smothered. Wilson had the ball stripped from him by Fruin. It is desperate out there. Pesh comes at it. Off the ground went Polton into a little bit of space. Tate lost his footing, recovers. High ball, Colville, Matthew Ashley, Colville. 2 players going hard at it. Ashley goes to ground. McClure dragged out of the contest. Wise dives on top. There'll be a bounce now. No, it's a free.
Just a little bit of an afterthought touch of Wise across the ear, and that was enough for the umpire to give a free kick. Eagles make a mistake though, bringing the ball away. Another opportunity for Port. Wilson can't get it. Darzanos gets the hand pass out. Doesn't quite get it out. Now the ball caught in there against Skipworth. Taken by John Cott with Tommy Carr, I think it was, who came in for an assist. 17 and a half minutes, 20 or 19 points the difference. So in dispute again, the Eagles, they've said this season they are a tougher unit in close, and they'll need to be. This is a tough ask at the moment. Port Adelaide is coming hard, and even though the Eagles have the advantage, as we said, don't write off the Maggie. Gavin Colville, and caught one around the head earlier in the match. Spent some time on the bench. Wise, will he be first to it? Pursued by Orman Allen. Wise, good tap. And again, the Magpies in there and tackling the Eagles. Brown is over the ball. The umpire comes in and says, I'll have it. David Brown shakes his head, said, maybe, I could have got a free kick.
Just have to keep in at the contest, both teams. Just got to keep pushing. One little break, one little give, one little touch could turn the game.
This is what finals football is about. This is where reputations are made and lost. Pedler. Grubbers one forward. McClure couldn't get there. Diving desperately over the top of it was Wise and Sicolella.
Eagles have just slowed things down a little bit too here.
Not a bad move as Darzanos.
Oh, jeez.
Dragged out of it by Carter. He was having a crack at John Copp. Umpire Pfeiffer says, settle down. You don't want to miss a grand final, fellas. McClure and John Copp still hard at it. Lindsay thumps it down. Carr misses it. Brown sidesteps, gets the kick forward, smothered. Darzanos goes back hard. The desperation factor is extreme. The players really are fighting this one right out to the wire.
Just an indication of how tight this game is. Only one individual player has had more than 20 possessions so far, and that's Colville with 21.
It has been good, and just at this stage, the Eagles closing it down, just know that they have to make contest after contest just to waste the time away. That's the factor that is on their side.
Tim Pfeiffer comes in, puts the ball down. Eagles, well, Pesh did well. Shook free of his opponent. Then got it forward, and that'll be a free kick off the ball. Skipworth to receive the free kick. A young man who played AFL football for Adelaide before he played a game of league football with the Eagles. And he'll take plenty of time, you would have thought.
Well, he's got plenty of time. Might have a little bit of trouble with the distance, kicking right into the teeth of the breeze, but he can get it right up there anyway.
Goes back, as I said, taking all the time. Ticked over into time on in this final quarter. He comes back to Beveridge. Beveridge goes short. That's an awful kick. It's to the advantage of Orman Allen. Orman Allen, if he can get a handle on it, he does. Looks up, there's not much to kick to, but he knows he's got to keep it in play. Jamie Tate takes possession. Now back to Fruin. He wants to keep it tight. The Eagles have the advantage. And oh, he just walked over the line. And what does the umpire say? Well, Orman Allen's going off, and the umpire now gives a free kick to Jamie Tate.
Can't do that.
And he's being told how silly it is by Fruin. And I think Tim Pfeiffer thought about taking it back 25 metres as well. And I'll tell you what, it'll be an interesting contest if it comes up again, the Eagles and Port Adelaide, because there are a few Ignorupperers going on out there.
You've just got to keep your head, as I said in the first game. Keep your head in finals footy.
And that wasn't a mistake. He meant to kick it that far back. They are just trying to maintain possession, the Eagles. 19 points up. A minute and a half into time on in the final term. Oh, look out. No, got away with it again. Pedlar with the mark.
He's been mature.
Yes, has. Very good performance by Pedlar.
It has been a great game of great maturity from this young man. In the hottest cauldron, with only 2 other games under his belt, he really has performed beautifully.
Fairly early to be starting this one, though, isn't it, David?
That is. I think the Eagles still need to attack because just one mistake here could open the door for Port Adelaide. I think they need to just score one more goal, the Eagles, to ensure that they're going to win. They're playing possession football. Joey Pedlar stamped himself as a player calm under fire. VC for him, and Lindsay.
He's been superb, this bloke.
Been the best big man on the ground today, no question about that. And underneath one, Polton misses it. Pesh, one step, turns it around the corner and just a little bit of space. Archie, well, he's been very, very good today.
Corey Archie, 67 handballs, which is probably more possessions than he usually gets.
Pesh just rallies the troops. What an important player he is, along with Colville. They lead the charge. O'Connor gets it down to Matthew Ashley. Smothered. Matthews goes to ground. There'll be another bounce. 23 minutes gone. Time washing off the clock. Port Adelaide struggling. So the Eagles look like they'll face Central District next week in the second semi-final. Port Adelaide will face off in the first semi-final against Norwood. Now remember that Port Adelaide went out last year in straight sets too. They lost 2 finals, Tim. Very unlike Port Adelaide.
No, you're right. They weren't very pleased with it either, because they were comprehensively beaten by Centrals and then knocked out in a good game against Sturt. But no use going out in a good game. You need to win finals footy, and they'll be disappointed with today's effort.
McClure taking his time. Not a lot of targets forward, but he goes long, and that's what they want. Punch down. Pesh, he's been important. He's roved a couple of times brilliantly. Colville gets on the end of a hand pass, turns it around in front of goals. Floriani almost took the mark.
Skipworth hasn't moved. Skipworth has not moved on the forward 50-metre line.
Anything or anybody near him at that time, David?
Well, he actually went down before the last ruck contest and nobody noticed him.
Yeah, I think I might have just caught it out in the peripheral vision.
Just have a look, see, well, I think Tommy Carr might have been responsible for whatever happened. We'll just see what comes of that. But he looks to be in a bit of trouble, and the stretcher, as you see, being brought out. They'll take a lot of time here. So clock ticks away, 24 and a half minutes. Daryl Poole rallying his troops. And the Eagles doing likewise, just grouping in.
Now remember that once the stretcher comes out, he has to go on it.
Yes.
And he can't come back for the rest of the match now.
he's okay. He wants to get off that stretcher, so for his relatives at home, I think Hayden is okay.
Look at Pooley. One last throw of the dice, guys. Give me one last effort.
Well, Port Adelaide played more qualifying finals than any other SANFL side. They've had 9 wins and 3 losses. This would be their 13th qualifying final. And I'll just have a look here. A bit of a blur, but yep, not quite sure from that, Tim, exactly what happened.
I think we definitely miss it on camera, don't we?
So, Skipworth being taken from the ground on a stretcher if you've just joined us. The Eagles well in control.
The footage inconclusive, but what we can tell you is that Carr and Skipworth clashed, and Skipworth didn't move.
And I think you can gather from that that when play resumes, for however long it goes, when number 14 for Port Adelaide goes near the ball, I think he might receive a few vociferous boos.
Well, I've not known Tommy Carr to be a dirty player, Tim, in any way, shape or form. He's one of the most courageous in areas with the football. But it certainly was untoward. And off the ball, and I guess that's the comment, is that any off-the-ball incidents really should be discouraged. And he doesn't look well. Leighton wide. Trent Orman-Allen paddles the ball forward. Vines overran it. Earl's been pretty good today as well, Tim.
Good little player. Really enjoyed his game. He's played in his half-back and just done the job perfectly.
Yeah, you can see Hayden Skipworth, not too much wrong with him now. He's got off the stretcher and just taking his seat on the bench.
That promised to be a collision. Holton coming the other way. Well, he shakes one tackle, but he can't shake a second. He's in trouble. Umpire comes in, says, no, I'll have it.
Yeah, he just slipped at the vital moment, didn't he, nearly? He had an open goal in front of him. Tried to make it there, but couldn't quite get there.
Tony Tate wrapping him up. Gee, he's been good.
Yeah, Eagles' defence superb today, and he's been marshalling it.
O'Connor, well, did a little bit of a dance. Got his fist to the ball. On the ground now. They pile it in. Pool over the top. Umpire calls for the ball. Slowly get to their feet. Milking the clock for all it's worth, the Eagles. David Newitt, the player there. So a bounce down. And the Port Adelaide attacking square over the top. Hall just thumps it as hard as he can. Now it's Orman-Allen. Gets around on his right leg, gets the kick away just in time. Here comes Beveridge, he won't make it. And Wilson will take the mark at centre-half forward proper. Kick from around 50 metres. Very last throw of the dice, I would have thought.
It's just respectability on the scoreboard now.
There's perhaps 3 or 4 minutes due to the stretcher.
Wilson lines it up, and well, he would have taken a better kick than that, you would have thought, and yet he's managed to get it in. A goal for Port Adelaide. They're not done yet. They're amazing, this club. They really think they can come from anywhere.
That's a very good kick in the end. I know it wasn't the best looking kick, but any kick that goes through for a goal is a good result. Admittedly, they've kept in there, they've hung on, but they haven't been as efficient with the football as what the Eagles have been today. The Eagles can be very proud of their efforts all across the ground.
40 points the margin, just minutes to go. Can Port Adelaide get down and get another goal? It'll really open things up a little bit, but time might beat them, and the Eagles would have something to say about that. Their form today has been terrific. They've used the ball very, very well. Their midfield has worked for them, and their rucks have been terrific. Brown's made a difference since going into the middle, no doubt about that. Kicks it forward. Pedler goes for the safety of the boundary line. Will it roll forward? It's rolling, 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 rolling. Earl concedes enough ground. Tate's been very good today. Short to McClure, one of the Eagles' best. I picked 4 big ones out. Colville, Lindsay, Tate, Floriani and McClure, that's 5. And I reckon there's about 8 or 9 other players who have been very good. Fruin today has been exceptional. Add in Sicolella, Pedler, Gallagher, Hall, and I think you've just about got it covered. You can probably list all the Eagles players, in fact. It's been a comprehensive performance.
David, just looking at that margin of 14 points, you just wonder that first 10 minutes allowing the Eagles 3 quick goals. Could have been a different story if they had been able to hold on to them, at least just close down play. But the Eagles have really just answered every challenge.
I think you've measured that pretty well, Tim. It's been a great contest right throughout the game. And there was just 2 periods where the Eagles got away in the first quarter and the opening stanza of the fourth quarter. Other than that, Port Adelaide played poorly and stayed with the Eagles.
I think that pretty well sums up the day.
Well, Port Adelaide's kicked the last 4 goals of this match and still trailed by 14 points. Wilson just jags it forward as best he can. Hall looked to be held by Binky. It came down to Brown. He's been blanketed by Floriani all day. Tate now with an opportunity to clear. Well, I don't know if he ever hand passed that. He's trying hard. Finally, he gets a hand pass away. And they just take the ball through calmly in the end for the rush behind.
13 points now.
And 31 minutes on the clock.
Eagles are certainly playing to the clock.
And why wouldn't they? They can just take this away, wrap it up, just ice their bruises and their sprains and focus on Central District next week. What a great battle that should become. Ackland at the back marks to drive Port Adelaide forward. One great thing about Port Adelaide, they just never give up. And the Eagles have had to play at their best today to put the fire out in the Port Adelaide belly. McClure wide towards the boundary line. Ackland back, the big man handballs to Wilson. The last goal kicker. Over the top he goes to Clayton, who's 60 metres out and going long and hard towards the goal square. Who's back underneath this one? No mark taken. Play on, says the umpires. The siren sounds. 13 points the margin in favour of the Eagles. They've won the qualifying final. Ron Fuller gets a pat on the back from Shane Reardon. Stephen Williams, the Port Adelaide coach, will need to go back and rethink because Port Adelaide will play Norwood next week in the first semi-final. The Eagles advance to the second semi-final against Central District. And Tim, apart from perhaps 15 or 20 minutes, Port Adelaide weren't disgraced, but the Eagles were quite magnificent today.
Yeah, as I said during the call, I think they did everything a little bit better. Their forward line pressure was superb. Their defence just held up to everything. And their midfield, and especially in that first half, just really dominated too easily. And Paul Lindsay started the whole thing in ruck. He got his hand to the ball and just cleared it out into the open spaces for the runners to get onto it. And Port Adelaide, just courage, I think, kept them in the contest, and their hard work and their work ethic just kept them in the game. And that man, David Brown, I thought really almost gave them a sniff at an opportunity of getting back and perhaps stealing a victory they shouldn't have won. But in the end, the Eagles were the better side on the day.